So, as you know, I put up a status this week about telling y'all that I was going to answer questions personally about myself, and then also just if you needed any questions regarding family or friends or anybody that basically has an eating disorder in general. And this week I got a question from Maddie, and her question was, when did you personally know your anorexia was a problem far deeper than one you could solve alone and not a temporary solution to your pain? And actually, that's a very good question. There were two really big events that happened to me personally that led me to realize that this was just this was a thing that I used to numb my own pain and for me to run from my pain. And the first one was when I met a girl at Chapman, and with this girl, I truly believe she saved my life. And it wasn't until Chapman that I really started to understand that I had a problem. And I talk about this more in my book, so I'm just going to kind of breeze over it. But this girl, she was a complete stranger. She came up to me at a party and said, "Do you remember me?" And I said, "I have no idea who you are," in my mind, really. I didn't say that to her, but I said, "No, I'm sorry, I don't know you." And she goes, "Think hard. Where do you know me from?" And I started to think. And then I remembered that I had seen this girl at my nutritionist's office. And this was at the time when I really didn't care. I didn't want anything to do with my nutritionist. I didn't want anything to do with recovery. But she remembered me, and when she saw me, she pulled me aside as a stranger and told me, "Listen, I have a heart condition, and I've been in the hospital numerous times. The doctors say that this can influence the way that I live, and I don't want that for you." They basically told her that if she didn't get better, this could take her life. And that's when I was really brought back to reality and realized that this was definitely a disease and definitely something that could impact my life. And she asked me, "Corinne, I need you to promise me." She told me this. She goes, "I need you to promise me that you are going to get better." And in that moment, I promised her that I was going to get better. And to this day, I'm still keeping to that promise. The second instance that really impacted me was I was actually a sophomore at Chapman, and I was living with three amazing women, and they were really trying to help me come to terms with my disease. And there was one time, I was very, very prone to going to the gym. Even though now I was working on my eating disorder, I still wanted to lose weight. In the back of my mind, I didn't let anybody know that I was still sick and that I still was in the very early stages of my anorexia. And I remember I worked out straight for an hour and a half, and my body couldn't take it. And I remember walking home. My home was right across the street from the gym, basically, and right across the street from the dorms and the school. And I remember walking home, and right when I got home, I collapsed. And as I fell to the floor, I thought, "Oh, it's okay, I'll just get up." Well, I didn't get up. I couldn't get up. I didn't have the strength to get up. There was nothing left in my body to give me strength to even stand. So I had to crawl to my room, praying that nobody was going to see me, and I stayed there for about an hour until I really realized that I needed help. And I remember calling one of my roommates and saying, "I'm on the floor. I need help. I can't get up." She rushed to my aid immediately from work and was able to help me drink some water, get me into my bed. At this point in time, I was shaking. And she really talked to me and really told me that I couldn't do this anymore. And in all honesty, I could not do this anymore. And that's really when I started to realize that I needed recovery and that I needed to get better, because it was taking my life. It had already taken mostly everything away from me, and now it was trying to take my life. And that's what this disease tries to do. And again, I go over this in my book, but thank you, Maddie, for your question. Um, I hope that I will be able to answer some more in the future.